A real man knows that pleasing a woman isn't about performance, it's about presence. It's about the quiet confidence that radiates when he doesn't need to prove himself. He doesn't rush, he doesn't force, he doesn't chase validation. He simply is. His energy speaks louder than words. When he looks at her, he actually sees her. Not just the surface, not just the image, but her energy, her emotions, her essence. That's what makes her feel truly desired. Because every woman craves to be seen, not as an object, but as a soul. When a man operates from that level of awareness, everything changes. The dynamic shifts from lust to connection, from desire to devotion, from ego to energy. He listens not just to what she says, but to the pauses between her words. He notices her tone, her breathing, her silence. He understands that presence isn't about doing 1,000 things right. It's about being fully there in the moment. A woman can feel when a man's mind is somewhere else, when he's distracted, when he's performing, but she can also feel when he's grounded, calm and in tune. Presence is the most powerful form of intimacy. It's the art of slowing down. It's knowing that real connection can't be rushed. When a man is fully present, the woman begins to relax. Her body softens, her energy opens, her guard falls. She no longer feels like she needs to protect herself because she senses that she's safe. That's the beauty of masculine energy. When it's mature, calm, and steady, it creates a space where the feminine can bloom. You see, most men are busy trying to impress. They think if they say the right thing, if they act confident, if they perform a certain way, they'll win her over. But the truth is, what touches a woman isn't performance, it's authenticity. It's the ability to be real, to be still, to be grounded enough to connect with her emotions. Because what she's really craving isn't just attention, it's emotional presence. She wants a man who notices her moods, her shifts, her subtleties. A man who doesn't try to fix her, but instead understands her. When you look at her and she feels your focus, your stillness, your energy, that's when she feels desired. That's when she feels safe enough to reveal her softest parts. Because for a woman, vulnerability isn't easy. She's been hurt, misunderstood, judged, and silenced before. But a present man, a truly conscious man, knows how to listen without interrupting. He knows how to make her feel seen without her having to explain herself. That's power. Not dominance, not control, but deep awareness. And the more present a man becomes, the more magnetic his energy gets. Because presence isn't just felt by the woman, it transforms the man himself. He becomes more centered, more peaceful, more aware of who he is. He doesn't need to chase, because he knows his worth. He doesn't need to seek approval, because he's already connected to his own inner power. And from that space, everything flows naturally. He attracts respect, loyalty, and admiration, not because he demands it, but because his energy commands it. This is what separates the boys from the men. Boys seek pleasure. Men create connection. Boys chase attention. Men inspire trust. Boys react. Men respond. Presence is what bridges the gap between immature energy and divine masculine energy. It's not something you learn overnight. It's something you grow into through self-awareness, patience, and emotional intelligence. When you become present, you stop viewing women as something to gain or conquer. You begin to feel them as human beings, as reflections of your own emotional world. You realize that the way you treat her mirrors how deeply you understand yourself. If you can't sit still with your own emotions, you'll never be able to hold space for hers. If you can't be patient with your own fears, you'll never be patient with her sensitivity. The level of presence you bring to a woman is the same level of presence you've cultivated within yourself. That's why the most attractive men aren't the loudest or the flashiest. They're the calmest. They carry an unshakable energy, a quiet intensity that makes people feel safe. A woman doesn't have to question their intentions. She just knows. She feels the difference between a man who's pretending to care and a man who's genuinely connected. Presence doesn't lie. Energy never lies. So if you want to truly please a woman, stop asking what you should do. Start asking who you are when you're with her. Are you distracted? Are you impatient? Are you insecure? Or are you grounded, steady, and open? Because she feels every bit of that. Your energy communicates before your words ever do. A man who knows how to be fully present holds a rare kind of power. Not the kind that dominates, but the kind that calms. Not the kind that demands attention, but the kind that commands it effortlessly. And when he meets a woman with that same depth, that same awareness, that's when real intimacy begins. It's not about impressing her. It's about understanding her. It's not about showing her what you can do. It's about showing her that you see her truly, deeply, completely. That's what every high-value woman remembers. Not the man who tried the hardest, but the man who was the most present. True masculine energy is never loud, never forceful, never desperate. It moves with purpose, not pressure. It leads with calm, not control. The kind of man who truly connects with a woman doesn't chase her body. He reaches her soul. He understands that what she really craves isn't someone to touch her skin. It's someone to touch her heart with depth and honesty. When a man approaches a woman with patience, emotional depth, and respect, he awakens something in her that can't be faked. He doesn't rush to take, he's there to understand. He values the beauty of her emotions, the rhythm of her thoughts, and the quiet moments that reveal who she really is. He knows that every woman has layers, the strong, the soft, the guarded, and the fragile, and he never tries to break those layers apart. He earns the right to see what's behind them. That's the essence of masculine energy. It's not about control, it's about direction. It's not about dominance, it's about devotion. A real man knows that when he chooses to be patient, he isn't losing time. He's building connection. He knows that true intimacy isn't instant. It's something that grows through trust and emotional safety. He's not interested in temporary validation. He's interested in something lasting, something meaningful. And that's rare because most people rush through love the same way they rush through life, fast, shallow, and disconnected. But when a man slows down and learns to be intentional, everything about his energy changes. His words carry weight. His actions carry meaning. His presence brings peace. That's the kind of man a woman never forgets. Not because he gave her grand gestures, but because he gave her understanding. He listened without judgment. He spoke without ego, and he stayed when others would have left. That kind of energy doesn't fade, it lingers. Men who lead with empathy don't see vulnerability as weakness. They see it as a form of power. The power to connect deeply, to love fully, to guide with strength and softness at the same time. When he values a woman's soul more than her appearance, he changes her view of men forever. Because she realizes that not every man wants to take from her. Some want to protect her peace, nurture her dreams, and see her grow. That's what divine masculine energy is. It's protective, not possessive. It gives without needing to control. A high-value man doesn't just admire beauty, he respects energy. He knows that attraction fades when the soul isn't seen. So he looks deeper, he pays attention to what excites her mind, what triggers her heart, and what soothes her spirit. He makes her feel heard in a world where everyone only wants to be seen. That's what true intimacy is, when you can rest in someone's presence and feel understood without needing to explain yourself. When a man learns emotional depth, he becomes powerful in a way most men will never understand. Because emotional awareness is rare, and it's magnetic. It draws people in, not through force, but through authenticity. Women sense it immediately. They can feel when a man is emotionally grounded, when he's not running from himself, when he's not masking his insecurities with charm or arrogance. His calm becomes her comfort, his steadiness becomes her safety. The man who leads with respect knows how to set boundaries without being cold and how to care deeply without losing himself. He gives her space to breathe, to be, to express herself freely. And in return, she gives him something far greater than attention. She gives him trust. Trust is the rarest currency in love, and only emotionally intelligent men earn it. When you learn to connect with a woman beyond the surface, you awaken her in ways she didn't know she could feel. You make her believe in softness again. You make her trust her feminine energy again. You remind her that not every connection has to hurt, that not every love has to take. Because the energy of a real man heals. It doesn't drain. It doesn't play games. It doesn't manipulate. It stabilizes, it elevates, it protects. That's the difference between attraction and alignment. Attraction happens fast. Alignment takes patience. Attraction fades when things get hard. Alignment strengthens through storms. That's why a real man isn't afraid of emotional conversations, silence, or depth. He doesn't run from complexity. He respects it. He knows that to lead, you must first listen. To love, you must first understand. To hold someone, you must first hold yourself. So when a man comes into a woman's life with that kind of grounded, patient, emotionally intelligent energy, he doesn't just become her partner, he becomes her peace. His love doesn't cage her, it frees her. It makes her glow differently, move differently, and trust differently. Because finally, she feels safe being soft. Finally, she feels seen for who she really is, not just what she gives. That's the legacy of a real man, not the number of women he's had, but the number of hearts he's healed. Not the power he holds over people, but the peace he brings into their lives. True masculinity isn't about conquering, it's about creating. It's about holding space for love, for growth, for depth. So to every man who's listening, understand this: being patient, being emotionally aware, and being respectful doesn't make you weak. It makes you unforgettable. The world might not reward you immediately, but the right woman will recognize your energy the moment she feels it. Because real women can always sense real men. And once she experiences that level of depth, she'll never settle for anything less again.